The old saying goes, if you hit me, I'ma hit you back. That's the get back. And tonight, our Atlanta Hawks went against the Golden State Warriors and got their lick back. Welcome back to Hawks Digest, everyone. Happy to see you all once again. Take off your shoes, leave on your socks, and in this video, we're talking about the huge win by our Atlanta Hawks, man, on a city night. You see, I got the colors on. And hey, man, I got to stretch out, and boy, what will rest do for you? Rest makes you look good. Rest looks good on the Atlanta Hawks, and tonight the Atlanta Hawks looked good, getting their lick back versus the Golden State Warriors. Yes, man, at State Farm Arena. We're about to get into it, but before I get into that, I got to update. Shout out to everyone who is subscribed to Hawks Digest, that 37.7%. We're getting close to a 60-40. He talking about 60-40. Yes, hey, shout out and RIP to Bernie Mac, man. And also RIP and my deepest condolences from Hawks Digest to the family of George Foreman. We lost our gentle heavyweight. And, it's a soft spoken guy, marketing genius, statesman. You can just go on. And from Hawks Digest to the Foreman family, our deepest condolences. And also, if you're not subscribed to Hawks Digest, please make us one of your first options when you need that Hawks content. You can come over right here. We got you covered. And all right, guys, let's get into it. Now, against the Charlotte Hornets, I said that was not necessarily a statement win because you did your job. You beat down a team that's going nowhere fast. They was missing some of their top guys, and you went in and took care of business. All right, cool. Thank you for doing your job. This is a little bit different. This is a huge win against a quality opponent, somebody who was sixth in the West coming into the game. Also, on a 3-game road win streak, the Golden State Warriors were. Also, the Golden State Warriors were 9-1 in their last 10 games coming into it. Also, the Golden State Warriors, 7th in the league in points per game as far as opposing points per game. So, it was a lot of things Golden State had going for them. Yes, they didn't have their engine, Stephen Curry. They didn't, and that's a big thing. But let's keep it real. Let's keep it 100. If the Atlanta Hawks come out into this game and treat this team like, oh, they're nothing without Steph Curry, they lose this game. Point blank, period. Lackadaisical effort will get you a loss. And I'm so glad in this game, the Atlanta Hawks, they absolutely were not having it. The Atlanta Hawks, this game had 1 lead change and 2 ties. The Atlanta Hawks took advantage of this game in the early going, and after the first quarter, dropping those 40 points to 23 compared, the Hawks took off, and they just did not look back. Yes, those Golden State Warriors, those scrappy Golden State Warriors, when you got a Draymond Green and still a Jimmy Butler over there, they're going to play tough. They were still knocking down shots. Kuminga, Moody was doing things for them, Pozinski as well. So they had players over there doing their due. But these Atlanta Hawks withstood every run. Even in the fourth quarter when they went on a 10-0 run, the Hawks were able to settle down, get quality shots. That was important in this game, quality shots, and was able to take down these Golden State Warriors. The Atlanta Hawks took care of business in the points in the paint, 60-44. Now, to Golden State's credit, the Hawks had 17 fast break points in the first half. They limited the Hawks to only 2 in the second half. So we ended with 19 compared to their 21. That was another reason why they was able to come back, because they was able to slow down the pace. Adjustments, right? Also, you think about the bench points. 49 bench points, big bench points for the Atlanta Hawks compared to 35 for the Golden State Warriors. 37 of those bench points from our Atlanta Hawks were from Caris LeVert and George Niang. Again, so 2 guys from the Atlanta Hawks in 37 points outscored the Golden State Warriors bench points because they had 35. So big thing for the Atlanta Hawks. Yes, that many bigs. But also, The turnovers. The turnovers this game could have been even more out of sorts for the Golden State Warriors. This right here could have been a bigger win for the Atlanta Hawks, like a blowout win for the Atlanta Hawks, similar to the Charlotte Hornets. But the Atlanta Hawks in the second half, after the adjustments, they started to get a little bit more sloppy with the ball, and it showed because the Atlanta Hawks ended up with 14 turnovers, 9 in the fourth quarter. Cannot happen. That's all about finishing strong, making sure I know adjustments are being made, just being smart with the basketball. Ultimately, it was a few passes in there that just looked a little wacky, and you were just like, come on, man, stop passing the ball. Just go ahead and try to take the shot. I'm looking at you, Dominic Barlow. I'm looking at you, Vit Krejci. Shout out to you guys, man. I love the unselfish play, but sometimes when you just right around the rim, go ahead and take the shot, man. Like, we're not gonna be mad at you. Go ahead and take the shot. Also, points off turnovers was fairly close. 15 for Golden State, 18 for the Atlanta Hawks. And that's also contributing to the 5 steals that the Hawks had tonight. Of course, 3 of those coming from Dyson Daniels. He's done it yet again, and also tied the season series as far as like the steals record from back when Ricky Rubio did it back in 2012, 2013. He did it back then, and also as far as like he had 38 games of 3 or more steals, and Dyson Daniels is right there. So, I mean, another guy saying Dyson Daniels, don't know what was going on in New Orleans, but I'm just so glad that Landry Fields will always be known for, if nothing else, for trading for Dyson Daniels. And honestly, one of the best trades you can really say coming into the NBA that no one knew about. But at the end of this season, people will look back at that trade and just say, hey, man, the Hawks, they did something right there, Also, before I get into my individual performances, I got 3 guys that I got to shout out and an honorable mention. The Hawks are 10-8 since the acquisition of Karis LeVert, George Niang, and Terrence Mann at the trade deadline. Niang is averaging 16.4 points for us, and also Niang adding 12.4. Also, Terrence Mann delivering almost 10 points. He's right there, 9.8. And of course, our Atlanta Hawks have the luxury of Trae Young, who dropped 25 tonight, but he's averaging 24.1 points per game, and he's also the NBA leading assist maker with 11.4. Dyson Daniels, of course, Mr. 3.0 steals, Mr. 3 steals per game, just doing what he does. And also, of course, our my rook, Zaccharie Risacher, man, averaging 12 points. Also, is one of the leading vote getters, one in the leading run for the Rookie of the Year. It's turning into a 2-man race, man. And honestly, Zaccharie Risacher, he deserves to be in that conversation. And I believe the more he keeps going, it's going to happen for him. Yes, indeed. Okay, guys. So individual performances. Gotta start this thing off right. Gotta start it off right. So, with that being said, I gotta give love to the minivan. Yeah, man, open that sliding door, man. The minivan was on one tonight, okay? This tonight was a clear example that when George Niang is on, this is what he can do tonight. George Niang came into the game off of the bench and went 8 for 11, a scorching 72.7% from the field, 6 of 9 from 3. That's 66% from the field, guys. Now, he did miss a free throw, and the Atlanta Hawks ultimately was 11 for 18 from the foul line. I don't like that. It's free. I don't like that. We missed a bunch of free throws tonight, and if this game was closer, who knows where it could have went, right? Who knows where it could have went. And honestly, that's another reason why the game could have been, so that lead could have been stretched out a little bit more. It could have been maybe like 134 to 115 instead of 124 to 115 for our Atlanta Hawks. Also, but back to George Niang, man. He got hot, and George Niang, it was so hilarious. George Niang hit a step back tonight, y'all. George Niang hit a step back tonight, and as Dominique Wilkins would say, heat check. And yes, splashed it. I'm talking about cash. Even gave the celebration and everything, man. It was great, man. It was great seeing the minivan out there having fun and being productive. 23 points for the minivan tonight. And hey, man, you love to see that. That's that production off the bench. Like I said, between him and Karis LeVert, 37 points. LeVert had 14, and he was 54% from the field. So big shots down the stretch. Didn't try to force any threes or anything. Got into the lane, was able to create many shots, and helped George Niang off the bench as well. So you love to see stuff like that, man. Again, little by little, you kind of see what the Hawks can be if they just can keep it together, right? If they just can do the things that they're doing tonight, withstanding teams like Golden State's runs when they're trying to walk you back down and get that lead back from you, and then you just be able to withstand each run, give them a run back, and then finish off the game. You want to finish off the game stronger though. Again, like I said, that fourth quarter and the 9 turnovers, we got to be better than that. But you still got the dub, and that's what it's all about. Next guy I have to mention, hey man, what can you say? Head of the snake, right? Ice Trae Young. The reason why I like this game so much was because Trae Young, he didn't force anything tonight, really, to me. I mean, yeah, he was 1 of 4 from 3. He's going to take those, right? He's going to take those threes. But I like the fact that Trae was also 9 of 15 from the field, 60%. 6 of 7 from the foul line. You'll take that. 10 assists. You love that. 5 rebounds. You love that. I love anytime my guards are rebounding, I love it. Okay? I'm a big fan of guard play and of especially when you're rebounding. So 5 rebounds, I'll take that from Trae. Also, only 4 turnovers. You definitely take that from Trae. I understand he averages about 5. So you'll take 4 or 3 from Trae. Again, you love to see that. He again played within the game. Take what the defense is giving them. Anytime that they tried to trap, you've seen that the Hawks were able to make the Golden State Warriors pay. And that can be something that can be a good omen if the Hawks can do that consistently. Trae will be doubled. Can you make the shot, or can you still make the offense go when Trae is being doubled? And tonight, the Hawks, they did a fairly well. I think they did a good job tonight. I'm not even going to say fairly well. I think they did a good job tonight. When Trae would get trapped, somebody would come help, somebody would roll, somebody would get into his vision so he can at least get the ball somewhere else, and then somebody's knocking down a shot or making an extra pass to at least attempt a shot. I like to see that. And Trae played within the game, 25 points, 10 assists. And my thing is, if he can play like that and get you 25 and 10, minimum turnovers, shot selection was on point. He can do that on a consistent basis. Hey, the sky's the limit for the Atlanta Hawks. But the key thing about that is guys have to be able to either create a shot or make the shot after the pass. That's very important. I can't leave that out. I can, so you can pass the ball to a guy 10 times. And if he misses all 10, what you going to do? So last guy. And this guy, I really give a big shout out to, and that is 0017. My man 0017 tonight, man. Onyeka Okongwu, a big 33, almost 34 minutes tonight. 10 of 16. 62.5% from the field. Onyeka is just one of those guys that's becoming more and more efficient. Like, my goodness, since he's been in the starting role, he's been averaging almost nearly 58% per game from the field. And he's getting better at threes. Lately, he's been knocking down threes. He was 2 of 3 tonight, 66%. So he had a 62 and a 66% night, 60 and 60 for a double O. Also gave you 12 big rebounds. Thank you for that, double O. Let me tell you what else he did. 6 assists. Yeah, our big man was passing, getting guys involved, helping facilitate the offense. When guys were double teaming Trae, Onyeka was helping out with that as well. And he also gave you 2 blocks, 2 turnovers. It's okay. 3 fouls. It's okay. 22 points. Another double-double for Onyeka Okongwu. And in his last 10 games, man, he's at least had 7 double-doubles. If you include this one right here in his last 11 games, he's had at least 8 double-doubles. It's only been like 1 or 2, maybe 3 at the most games where he had double digits in points and maybe not double digits in rebounds or vice versa. So Double O, say what you want about Double O's size, y'all. I just see effort out there. I see a guy who is tailoring his game to what the defense can give him, to his height, to what he can do. You only can do what you can do because he's not growing anymore. The only thing he can do is get bigger or fatter. So it's just there's only so much he can do, guys. But Onyeka Okongwu, tonight, my fella, I appreciate everything you did in the post. You were unstoppable. No, they had no answer for Onyeka Okongwu. They threw different guys at him. Draymond, with Quinton Post, who I give him his props. He hit 3 threes tonight that I didn't think that he was going to knock down. I didn't know about Quinton Post, but hey, man, 11 points to him. But they threw Quinton Post at him. It's not about Post. This ain't about Kevon Looney either, who they threw at him. This is about Onyeka Okongwu. And he handled his business tonight. And I'm giving Onyeka his flowers. Hate it or love it, Onyeka did great tonight. And great team win overall for our Atlanta Hawks. You love to see it. And guys, we have to turn right back around. We can't get too high with this because we have the Philadelphia 76ers coming in a afternoon evening type game right here at State Farm Arena though. So all we got to do is go to bed, get up the next morning and get ready for this game. And the Sixers are another team going nowhere fast. Has shut down Paul George. Embiid already gone for the season. Last time we seen those guys, Maxey and everybody was pretty much on the bench. This time, it may be a little different. But at the same time, this is another opportunity, golden, if you will, for the Atlanta Hawks to end up on a 3-game winning streak, so before we knew it. Stack these wins. It's not necessarily about chasing Detroit. Just keep on winning and just get into a rhythm and just let the chips fall where they fall, guys. Because regardless, the Hawks are going to be in the play-in or the playoffs regardless. So I feel like as long as we take care of business, the rest will handle itself. But until next time, guys, I know this was an exciting win. This is a game that we had to have, and I'm so glad that we was able to take it. Until next time, peace and blessings to you all. And to you all, I will holler.